Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky194, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to stop by and visit and check out my video. And we're here back here at IMOLA in the Porsche. And of course, I was unhappy with the multiplayer, although I was really thrilled to finish where I was for what was, where I started, 10th or 11th or whatever that was. But not happy with the car, and had to go to one of my older setups, just to get by. So I thought it would be, a few little tweaks here and there, and we'd be good to go. Well, good to go, but boy, again, the Porsche and ACC throws me for a loop, and I've been working on it for over 2 hours, probably two and a half, trying to get this thing to do what I want, and I have been everywhere. I've been A to Z, all over the place, but I think we got a good setup here. And of course, another thing I'm learning off of Motec, and we'll go over that when we're going over the setup, that there's some things again that I'm learning that for one car might be okay, but for the other car it's not. So every car is specific to what the setting, even though on the graphs it's good for this car and it works and feels good. You put it on another car, it doesn't work as good. So again, those are things that you learn, and I'm going off of, and unfortunately, it just takes extra time because there's a lot of, I don't know how many laps I've done, and like I said, it's been over 2.5 hours, so I don't even know how many laps of just hard going. So, but I try to find a car, try to get this Porsche, because this is probably one of the hardest tracks for this car, and it's just because of the way the setup is of the Porsche and the way the turns are. It wants to come out. You end up losing it, especially down in that bowl area, and then so it's really hard to find a balance, because then if you get where it doesn't do that, then it understeers everywhere else. So then you might be solid through there, but then through everywhere else, you're understeering like crazy. So it's just a really hard balance to find in this car and to make it, driver friendly, at least somewhat. So we're going to go a couple laps quick as I can. It might take a few extra minutes than normal, but there's a few, again, a few areas that I want to kind of touch base with. So let's get going. First, we jump in the car here. And of course, I got this thing set up for high downforce and to try to make it stable through the rest of the track. So, there was a 43, 47 coming up here right before that curb. You got to be really hard on the brakes. You can't hit some of these curbs, bumps. It's okay. It rides, pretty good, really, for the Porsche. Go through there flat-footed, come up here, try to brake as straight as you can, and then just turn. And then downshift second and get on the gas as early as you can. Try to brake as straight as you can. Here you can trail brake. Going in, you can hold the brake if you need to get it to rotate. That's okay. It won't hurt it there. This is the trickiest corner, so you got to be cautious right there where those brown spots are. Try to cut it through there, but it's really tricky, and just be on red alert going through there. Here, we're going to go straight and brake pretty straight without turning the wheel too much. Try to keep it. Let's see if we'll go back up. Again, when you're coming down through here, I get all the way on this curb right here. I get on that curb, and I'm trying to aim straight. Now, you can see I'm turning a little bit, right? But I'm aiming not barely, just a little bit. Then I get off the brake and back on the brake once I'm straight again. So again, let's back up. So you see I'm on the gas, but now I'm on the brake straight. Back off the brake, let the car rotate. Gave it a little throttle, but then back on the brake because I'm straight again. You got to be careful because you get in there cook it too hard, and you want to be able to come in here and brush that curb right there, and then get right on the gas. Okay, so I'm counter steering a little bit right there, which is not good, but it's okay. And that's where you got to go. That's because that's one of the most dangerous corners for this car, because it just wants to come around. So again, any of these corners here, you want to brake straight. as little turning as possible except for the hairpin. That is okay. You can trail brake and hold the brake halfway through the corner if you need to. You want to get as much momentum. I can't emphasize that enough through there. You want to get as much momentum through these turns here, because the weakest point of this car is the straightaway. Okay, especially with the high downforce. You got it. You want to concentrate here and get a good drive. Try not to run over these things. I did a couple times because that hurt your drive. You want to just skate alongside here and open it up as soon as you can to get the drive coming out, because you're going to accelerate really good. So that's your advantage. Take advantage of it. You're going to accelerate really good out of here all the way to the finish line. You're going to be really good. And that's the main thing on the last lap. You're going to be, even with a low downforce package, if you do this right, you're going to accelerate just as fast to that finish line. It's after that is where the difference makes. So, like if you're on the last lap and you got somebody behind you, if you can get the drive out of here, which you have a better chance with the high downforce because you got the grip and everything else, you'll accelerate to the finish line the fastest. It's after that that is now against you. So I hope I was clear about that. See, I hit that a little bit, so that hurt a little bit. But I timed it with low downforce and more, and you're better off to have the more downforce, because then the car is more drivable, at least for a long for a race. For qualifying is different. That was a 143.43. And of course, I started with 80 liters. So again, it's down to 67 now, but I started with 80. I wanted something that you can attack all through this whole course. You should be able to be one of the best handling cars. I mean, you should be able to attack every corner, every braking zone. You can be very aggressive. Just be a little cautious through here and down in the bowl. But you still be hard on the brakes. Just remember straight. Just go straight and then let it rotate, and then on the brakes again. And it just, that time, see, I didn't have to counter steer. It come out of there, just, it squatted and dug and accelerated. See, it goes over the bumps as good as I've probably ever had. Still not the BMW, either one of them, or probably the Bentley, but it is the Porsche, so just very short wheelbase. See, I missed him that time. Ran it out a little wider. Didn't get in the dirt, but I just ran, which is important because you get a better drive going through here. That was my fast lap at a 143.26. So again, for a race package, I think it's really good because I have been all over the place with different setups and trying to take a different approach to it. And qualifying, you can get a little more aggressive, and we'll go over that. This is just this time. I just wanted to start over because I have to. The temperatures start getting out of what I want to keep it at. So basically, I've had to start over a couple times. So that's how many I've been doing it for. Like I said, a couple hours. So here we go, and you can see there's a tenth right there. So there's another tenth of a second. So it could have been, which I've seen it on the Delta, like low 43. So it's getting way down there. So again, I'm really happy there. You see, just after I started, it was 43.97. That's the first timed lap, and then it just keeps dropping. So I think it's a really good package for a race package. So let's go over to setup. We got 26.8 for the left front, 26.4 for left rear, 26.2 right front, and 26 right rear. The toe's negative 0.05. with the camber at negative 3.6 on the left front and negative 3.7 on the right front. The caster is 9. And on the rear of the toe is 0.04 with the camber at negative 3.2 on the front all the way around. So you could, I just left it. They were still okay, but if you want to, if you feel a little better, you can go to 3.3 on this side. But I just left it the same. This here, I've tried different camber settings, and I really didn't notice any difference. So, and again, I just don't like it to where it's too much negative camber. So I just left it the minimum as I could get away with. Electronics, 3, 6, and 3. You might want to start off in 4 if you have a longer race. In both of these, 4 on both. If you have if you have no pit stop, you might want to start off just to save your rear tires. So that you might want to try that. That's just a suggestion. Fuel, of course, I had 80 liters. There's the tires. There's no graining or anything, but I mean, I only did like 5 laps, but I was all out. Just a teeny bit more wear on the front, or on the rear. I'm sorry, on the rear. But of course, later in the race, once you start it understeers more and more, the front will probably catch up a little more. So it's pretty good for the Porsche because it always wears the rears faster. Mechanical. Got 4 on the anti-roll bar, 54 on the brake bias. Again, very aggressive. Steering ratio's down to 13. Springs on the front. I see there's definitely a lot different. 146,000 with a bump stop rate of 800 and a bump stop range of 15. And on the rear, the springs were 187,000 with a bump stop rate of 600 and a bump stop range of 40. And that's one of the things I had to change. I kept fighting this because it seemed like on the Motec, it was with the graph, it was showing I needed to have more spring, but the car didn't like. I kept doing it, and it just didn't want to agree with the car. So I actually went down 1, and it seems to settle the car a lot better. The car seems more stable, and not, especially after you get a few laps, it doesn't seem to want to just loop on you. So, and it doesn't fight you. So actually, that's something that I had to compromise on. Of course, I said it's a bump stop rate 600 and a bump stop range 40 on the back. Any roll bars 3 and the preload on the diff is 60. That's another thing. I had it 50, and you could try that in a qualifying. Okay, so qualifying, that would be another thing you could do, and it might pick you up another 10th. Or you might just like it that way the whole time. So that's something that you can try if you like it. I tried a bunch of stints with it at 50. It wasn't bad, but the problem is the tires wear. You start losing drive. It just doesn't want to drive off the corners. You got to keep counter steering and doing things like that. And I don't like that because you're losing some of the advantage of the car. You need it to just come off the corner as fast as possible. That is the biggest advantage with the Porsche is you got to be able to come off the corner like a rocket. And so with the diff locking up a little sooner, I felt it was really coming off the corners better than it was when I was at 50. That was my reasoning anyway. Shocks, which I've been everywhere on these. We got 11-4, 11-4 on the front, and on the rear it's 10-4, 10-4. So that's what we got. Again, have had to make a few compromises, but a lot different than what I usually set up, but that's what I'm going off of is what the Motec's telling me to do. Aero, I got 54 in the front, 74 in the rear with a 4 splitter, a 10 rear wing, and a 4 and a 4 in the brake ducts. And the front aero variation is a 2.2 to the positive. Now, if doesn't rotate enough for you or qualifying, I would just knock the wing down 1. That's all I would do. I wouldn't do anything else. Or you can take the diff down to 50. You can try those multiple if you're just qualifying, and you probably be fine. But again, no matter what you do, brake straight. Do not try to turn and brake. Other than that hairpin, that's fine. But anywhere else, try to keep it as straight as possible, and then get off and just let the car rotate. Don't try to be braking going through the turn, or it'll come around in a heartbeat. So you basically, but you can go down to 9. I don't know if 8 might be pushing it, but you can definitely go down to 9 on the wing, and that would give you a little bit more time, especially low fuel in a qualifying setup. Something you could try. Now, if you don't rotates too much for you, then I would leave everything else alone and just up the right height on the front. It's the simplest thing to do. I mean, if you go up one, that's a big, huge difference. It went all the way down to 1.6. If you need more than that, go up one more. Now you're down to 0.9. So I mean, it'll understeer all you want. So if that's what you want to do, that's what I would try to do. But it should the back end should be as stable as you're going to get, pretty much, and still be able to rotate and go through these corners and attack like you want to. Again, I got it all the way down to there. It's not all the way down. You can go down to 53, but I don't have it that low. I got it at 54 because even then, if you run over the curbs, I shouldn't say curbs, the sausages. If you run over the sausages, you can go over them. But I mean, if you really run over the center of the car, you're going to really upset the car because the car is low in the front. So if you just run over, the one tire, it's no problem. But if you really run over it, that's too much anyway. You're going to definitely have a problem. So that's why that's as low as I want to go. But that's why I got the front aero variation at 2.2 to the positive. So again, I mean, I think this is a lot better. Tried to make it still get good times, but still be able to attack and still be able to have a driving car, not something that is basically trying to kill you at every turn. So hopefully you'll like it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it works good for you. And again, I'll have the link for this setup in the description. And of course, Sky 8.1 is always all the new setups are always the 8.1 if you look, and also the playlist are 2021 multiplayer and 2021 setups. So it would be it would say 2021 IMOLA setups, and that's what this would be under that too in my playlist. Also, don't forget about, which I should have said in the beginning, the giveaway. The giveaway, I hope everybody's getting all that information out. Is getting that as far as the giveaway that's coming up here within probably the week. Look for a video for that, and I'll be giving away the Fanatic 2.5X wheel, brand new, with the optional quick disconnect. For the new connection that they're having, the new update that they're having, so you can go either way. So I'm going to have, basically that'll be going with it also. It's all brand new, and that's my giveaway for the holidays, and my way to say thank you to everybody for all your support. And I sure hope you come back and visit again really soon. Y'all take care. See ya.